Developing tonight, new revelations again undercutting Hillary Clinton's story in the email controversy threatening her possible presidential run. A key part of Mrs. Clinton's defense is that, quote, the vast majority of the emails that she was keeping on her own private server and not on the government system were nonetheless captured by the feds because she emailed staffers on their government accounts. But that may not be true. See, the Clinton team recently delivered roughly 300 emails to a House committee investigating Benghazi. And it turns out many of those were sent from Hillary's private account to the private accounts, private, not state, of her top people. Fox News senior judicial analyst Judge Anna Napolitano joins me now. I thought this was her record-keeping attempt.
Do you think she knew that when she said the emails that I got came from the government and my replies went to the government? Guess what? Many of her senior aides used the same server that she used, her husband's server. So her statement that all of the emails, or the vast majority of the emails that I dealt with, were preserved on a government server were not true, and she knew it was untrue when she was doing it, and she knew it was untrue when she stated it at the UN.
It was basically bull. However, if you look at what she actually said, the vast majority. So maybe we're just getting the small minority in this report we see in the New York Times.
Look, she had 66,000 emails in the time that she was Secretary of State. She admits to deleting 33,000 and surrendering 300. Anybody can do the math. That is not a decision for her to make. Those are decisions for the government to make by denying the government the ability to do that. By doing it in cahoots with her senior staff, she conspired to evade the law, and she broke the law by concealing the government's records from the government.
And if she destroyed them, if she destroyed our records, then we're talking about a possible crime. But let's talk about the other thing in the New York Times report, which was that there were messages in there that also spoke to her scheduling, the logistics of her life as secretary, and just as a woman who happens to be Secretary of State. All of that is potentially problematic.
Yes, and here's why. Depending upon how you look at it, there are either 3 or 4 security levels for all documents. I don't know where her schedule fits. It's probably the lowest or the second lowest, but it is a secure document. If she goes to the hairdresser, if she goes to the Pilates class, if she goes to the dentist, and that is available to people who want to harm her or harm the government, that is a material breach of classified information. General Petraeus was charged and agreed to plead guilty to failing to secure his schedule after he left office. Mrs. Clinton failed to secure her schedule on a day-to-day basis while she was still in office.
She maintains there was no breach, nobody hacked into this server and so on, and yet more and more we're hearing security experts come out and say she might not even know if somebody had gotten in and gotten out.
If she was hacked by professionals, she probably doesn't know it. We do know that one of her familiar correspondents, Sid Blumenthal, nicknamed the Prince of Darkness, was hacked by a professional because that professional was prosecuted, convicted, incarcerated, and in the process revealed the emails that he hacked.
But now we have Trey Gowdy, who has issued a direct request to her attorney saying, give me the server. I want to see it. And he doesn't have subpoena power, but there's a question about whether Jason Chaffetz does on the committee that oversees Congress, that has oversight responsibilities,
right.
And certainly the full House does.
This will be up to Speaker Boehner. Clearly, the full House has subpoena power for that server. Congressman Gowdy's committee can only subpoena testimony and documents and electronic documents. It can't subpoena tangible things. The only way to find out what she did as Secretary of State, what she destroyed, what she concealed, is to subpoena her husband's server, whether it goes to the House or whether it goes to an independent body to examine.
And if an independent body is, reviewing it, there should be no problem because then you hopefully take politics out of it. Great to see you, Judge.
Pleasure, Megan.